Have you ever sat alone in your room and suddenly felt empty inside? Do you wonder why being by yourself feels so heavy, almost like something is missing? Why does the silence around you turn into noise inside your head? Just think about this. How can we truly know who we are if we can't sit with ourselves for even a few minutes? Imagine a person walking through a quiet park. No phone, no friends, no distractions, just the sound of the wind and the feeling of each step. At first, it feels peaceful, but soon, thoughts start creeping in, old memories, worries, regrets. That's when being alone starts to feel difficult. But what if that moment of quiet was not the problem, but the doorway to something beautiful? Welcome to Wisdom Woven. This is a space where you'll learn how to turn solitude into strength. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribed. So please, if you find even one line helpful, like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe to our channel. It really helps us bring more of this meaningful content to you. In this journey, you'll discover that being alone doesn't mean being lonely. Buddhism teaches that real peace starts from within, not from what surrounds you. Buddha himself left behind his royal life to sit under a tree, alone, and that's where he found enlightenment. Aloneness was not his weakness. It was his path. In today's world, we are surrounded by people, yet feel disconnected. We keep looking for company, for attention, for love outside. But have you ever tried to give those things to ourselves? Solitude is not the enemy. It's a mirror that shows us what we are truly made of. This series is not about isolating yourself. It's about learning to enjoy your own presence so deeply that even when you're with others, you're still whole. Let's begin this transformation, one silent moment at a time. Why loneliness isn't what you think it is. Sit down for a moment. Gently breathe in and slowly breathe out. You don't have to rush anywhere. No one is asking for your attention right now. This moment is just for you. And in this moment, let me ask you, what comes to your mind when you hear the word loneliness? Most people feel it's something bad, something painful, a feeling of being unwanted, forgotten, or left out. It's that empty space in the heart when no one calls, when you have no plans on a weekend, when you eat dinner alone. But listen carefully. Loneliness is not what it looks like on the surface. Loneliness is just a signal, a message from your inner self. It says, come back to me, be with me. When people say they're lonely, they often mean they miss someone. They miss company, a conversation, a warm presence. But the deeper truth is they're missing themselves. They've been away from their own heart for too long. They've been trying to feel whole through others, forgetting that peace grows from within. Let me tell you something simple and true. You are never really alone when you are fully present with yourself. The great masters in Buddhism did not run from solitude. They sat with it. They listened. They didn't try to distract themselves or fill the silence. They welcomed it like an old friend knocking on the door. Loneliness hurts when you resist it. When you keep telling yourself, I should not be alone, the pain increases. But if you softly say, okay, I'm here with myself now, the feeling slowly begins to change. It transforms from a sharp ache to a soft silence, from a cry to a calm breath. Sometimes we confuse loneliness with stillness. We live in such a noisy world. Phones ringing, messages flashing, people talking, that when everything suddenly stops, we panic. We don't know how to just be. But stillness is not emptiness. It is space. And in that space, you can hear your soul speak. Think of a pond. When the water is disturbed, you can't see the bottom. But when it's calm, clear, you begin to see what's truly there. Loneliness is like that disturbed pond at first, but with patience and silence, it becomes clarity. Most people are scared to be alone because they've never been taught how to be with themselves. They think they need to be doing something all the time. But being alone isn't about doing. It's about being, just being. In Buddhism, one of the most beautiful teachings is this: everything you seek outside is already inside you. We chase relationships, attention, approval, love, all on the outside. And yet, the one who deserves your love the most is sitting quietly inside, waiting for you to notice. Being alone is the perfect time to reconnect. Ask yourself questions. Who am I when no one is watching? What do I truly feel without pretending? What makes me happy from within? Not because others are impressed, but because it touches my heart. At first, these questions may feel uncomfortable, but keep asking, keep listening. The answers will come softly, like sunlight filtering through a cloudy sky. Loneliness is often just the first doorway. If you walk through it with calmness, you'll reach solitude. And solitude is not your enemy. It is your teacher. It is where you hear your truth clearly, without anyone else's voice drowning it out. In the old days, monks would walk deep into the forest to be alone, not to escape, but to meet themselves. No phone, no internet, no distractions, just nature and breath. And in that stillness, they became strong, wise, peaceful. You can do the same, even if you live in a busy city. All you need is a little quiet time with yourself. You don't have to go anywhere far. Just sit still. Maybe early in the morning, before the world wakes up, or in the evening, when everything winds down. Close your eyes. Feel your breath. Let your thoughts come and go like clouds. And slowly you'll start to feel something. Not fear, not sadness, but peace. Don't wait for others to fill your life. You are enough. The love you're searching for outside, start giving it to yourself. Speak kindly to yourself. Feed your body good food. Rest when you're tired. Smile when you see yourself in the mirror. And if tears come sometimes, that's okay. Let them. Even clouds cry before they bring new life. Loneliness doesn't break you. It shapes you. It prepares you to love more deeply, to live more freely, to walk with strength. One day, you'll look back and realize being alone was not your weakest time. It was your most important one. It was the time you found your roots, the time you stopped running, the time you made peace with yourself. So next time you feel lonely, pause. Don't rush to escape. Sit with it. Breathe with it. Whisper to yourself, I am here. I am listening. And in that moment, you will begin to feel the sacred power of being alone and not lonely. This is how the transformation begins. Sit quietly for a moment. Just you, your breath, and this moment. Nothing more. Now ask yourself, why are you uncomfortable when everything around you is silent? Why does your mind run away the moment there's no sound, no distraction, no person nearby? In truth, silence is not empty. It's full of answers. And today, we will begin to understand how the Buddha used silence, not words, to find the deepest truths of life. Many years ago, the Buddha sat alone under the Bodhi tree. No one was there to comfort him, no one to cheer him up, no phone to scroll through, no voices to fill the space. Just silence. Deep, honest silence. And through that silence, he began to see, not with his eyes, but with his inner awareness. He saw suffering, he saw craving, he saw impermanence, and he saw peace. So what does that mean for you? You may think being alone makes you weak. You may believe that silence is unbearable, but that is only because you've never truly sat with it. You've always run from it. You've always filled it up with noise, talk, music, screens, chatter. But the truth is, silence is the first teacher. And once you stop fighting it, it becomes your closest friend. When Buddha was asked deep questions, sometimes he said nothing. Why? Because he understood that not every question deserves an answer. Some questions only need space. And space, silence, is where the mind softens and opens. This is how he embraced solitude. Not with fear, but with trust. You too can do this. But you must be gentle with yourself. Start small. Maybe just sit quietly for 5 minutes. No goals. No need to meditate perfectly. Just sit. Let the thoughts come and go. Let the silence wrap around you like a warm blanket. You don't need to fight anything. Not your sadness, not your memories, not your fear. Everything will rise and fall naturally if you allow it. When you're alone, you begin to notice what you've been avoiding. That small feeling in your chest. That old regret. That sudden tear. But here's the secret. When you stop pushing it all away, it stops controlling you. When you see your emotions clearly, they lose their power over you. This is the strength of solitude. Buddhism teaches that real freedom is not having everything you want. It's being okay with what is. And that acceptance, that peace, grows in silence. It grows in stillness. It grows in being alone. Think of a calm pond. When the water is still, it reflects everything clearly. But if you keep stirring it, you can't see anything. Your mind is the same. If you keep distracting it, feeding it with constant input, it never becomes still. It never reflects your true self. But when you slow down, when you stop moving for a while, everything becomes clear. You can see your thoughts. You can see your habits. You can see the roots of your suffering. In silence, the Buddha saw this truth. Nothing lasts. Every emotion, every fear, every craving, it all comes and goes. You don't need to chase anything. You don't need to hold on to anything. And once you see this, you become lighter. But let's be honest. In today's world, choosing silence feels unnatural. Everyone is rushing. Everyone is loud. Being quiet feels strange. But the path to peace is not found in noise. It's found in the quiet corners of your soul. You may say, "But I feel lonely when it's too quiet." That's okay. You're not doing anything wrong. Loneliness is just a feeling. It comes when we believe we are missing something. But slowly, as you sit in silence more often, that loneliness transforms into something else. It becomes spaciousness. It becomes calm. Look at monks who live in the mountains or forests. They don't need crowds. They don't need constant connection. They smile without reason. Why? Because they've made peace with silence. They've made peace with being alone. This does not mean you must become a monk. No, it means that wherever you are, in your home, in a park, on a walk, you can start to listen. Not to others, but to yourself, your breath, your body, your heart. That's where wisdom begins. Silence is not boring. It's rich. It's alive. It has layers. At first, it feels uncomfortable. Then, it feels neutral. And finally, it feels warm and healing. But you must walk through those layers gently. Don't rush. Just keep showing up for yourself. Here is a small practice for you. Every morning, before the world wakes up, sit for 5 minutes. Breathe slowly. Don't force anything. Just notice. If thoughts come, say, "I see you," and let them pass. If emotions arise, allow them to be there without judgment. This simple act, done daily, will change you. When the Buddha sat in silence, he wasn't trying to escape life. He was facing it fully. That's the real power of solitude. It allows you to meet yourself. Not the version others expect, but your raw, honest self. You will discover that you are stronger than you think, that you are more peaceful than you appear, that you are not alone in your aloneness. The Buddha taught that everything you need is already within you. But to see it, you must become still. You must become quiet. You must become alone, not in pain, but in peace. Let this silence become your teacher. Let your own company become your strength. And remember, solitude is not the absence of love. It is the presence of self-love. Walk slowly. Sit quietly. Listen deeply. You're not lost. You are simply returning to yourself. Sit quietly. Breathe gently. Now ask yourself this. When you are alone, who are you? You see, most people are always surrounded by noise, by others, by screens, by problems, by plans. And when they're finally alone, they feel lost. Because all their life, they have only seen themselves through the eyes of others. But when no one is around to approve, to clap, to speak, or to listen, what remains? That is where true understanding begins. In solitude, you're finally given the chance to meet yourself. Not your name, not your role, not your job or your status. Just you. At first, it may feel uncomfortable. You may not even like what you see, but this is not a problem. This is an invitation to look deeper. When the mirror is still, the reflection becomes clear. That's what being alone is, a mirror. And in that mirror, you will see your fears, your stories, your attachments. But you'll also see your truth. And truth doesn't need decoration. It doesn't need noise. It only needs silence. Do not be afraid of what rises in your mind when you are alone. The worries, the memories, the regrets, they are not enemies. They are unhealed parts of you asking for attention. Sit with them. Breathe. Watch them. Like clouds passing across the sky, they will come and go. But you, the sky, remain. Once a young monk came to me and said, "Master, I don't like being alone. I feel bored. I feel useless. I smiled and asked, when you are with yourself, who is the one you are bored with? The monk looked at me, confused. I told him, if you are bored with your own presence, it is not the world's fault. It is a call to go deeper. You cannot build a home on shaky ground. Similarly, you cannot build deep relationships, deep work, or deep peace if your inner foundation is weak. Aloneness gives you the time and space to lay that foundation, not through force, but through gentle awareness. The Buddha often sat under the Bodhi tree, alone, silent, watching. He wasn't escaping the world. He was seeing it clearly from the inside. That clarity only comes when we step away from the noise of the crowd and into the quiet of our own breath. Many people say, I don't have time to sit alone. I'm too busy. But the truth is, it's not time that they lack. It's courage. Courage to face themselves. Because solitude is not always comfortable, but it is always honest. When you understand yourself in aloneness, you begin to stop chasing approval. You stop needing to explain yourself. You stop apologizing for your feelings. You stop trying to fit into boxes that were never yours to begin with. And most importantly, you begin to accept yourself, not just the good parts, but the whole of you. In Buddhist practice, we are taught to observe. Observe without judging. Observe without running. Just observe. And you can do this anywhere. Sit on the floor. Sit under a tree. Sit on your bed. Just sit and breathe and watch what comes. Let yourself be uncomfortable. Let yourself feel, because these feelings are the doorway to your real self. Don't try to be perfect when you are alone. Don't try to act wise or enlightened. Just be honest. If your heart feels heavy, feel it. If your mind feels messy, let it be messy. Because only by being real can you become free. There's a Zen saying, when walking, just walk. When sitting, just sit. Above all, don't wobble. In the same way, when you are alone, just be alone. Don't scroll for your phone. Don't run to distract yourself. Be with yourself fully, and you will find something you never expected. Peace. Peace doesn't come from fixing everything. It comes from making space for everything. And your time alone gives you that space. Not to escape, but to embrace. To see all that you are, your light, your shadows, your truth, and hold it with kindness. You may think, but Master, I don't know how to begin. Begin simply. Sit still. Close your eyes. Breathe in. Breathe out. Feel the breath as it comes. That is all. Thoughts will come. Let them come. Feelings will rise. Let them rise. You're not the thoughts. You're not the feelings. You're the one watching. Over time, you will see the mind becomes quieter, the heart becomes softer, and your presence becomes enough. You no longer need others to fill you because you are full on your own. This is the secret many never learn. The ability to be alone is a gift. It is not a punishment. It is freedom. Because when you no longer fear being alone, you no longer fear anything. You stop chasing what doesn't matter. You stop pleasing those who don't understand you. You begin to live your truth without apology. And from that space, your relationships change. Your work changes. Your joy deepens. Because you're no longer running from yourself. You are walking with yourself. One day, when you're sitting in silence, a moment will come when you'll smile for no reason. You'll feel light, open, peaceful. That is not a random moment. That is your true self shining through. That is the gift of solitude. So don't run from being alone. Run into it. Not to hide, but to find. Not to escape, but to return. Return to who you are beneath the noise, beneath the roles, beneath the masks. And you'll find you were never really alone at all. You were always with the one person you needed the most, yourself. Let this be your practice. Let this be your beginning. Come sit down. Let your shoulders drop. Take a slow breath in and a slow breath out. For just a little while, forget the outside world. You do not need to rush. You're not late. Right now, you're exactly where you should be. Being alone is not a punishment. It is not something you need to escape from. It is, in fact, a doorway, a quiet doorway that leads you inward. But to enter that doorway, you need something many people fear: stillness. Stillness is not silence. Stillness is not laziness. Stillness is an inner pause, A peaceful state where you are not running after anything and nothing is chasing you. Have you ever felt that kind of pause? In this stillness, you begin to feel your own presence. Not your job, not your role, not your thoughts, just your simple, calm, breathing presence. And when you feel that, even for a moment, you begin to realize you are not alone at all. The Buddha sat under the Bodhi tree for many days in complete silence. He didn't run from his thoughts. He didn't distract himself. He sat still, breathed gently, and faced everything. And what did he find there? Peace, clarity, compassion. He became his own best companion. Now, you may ask, how can I do that in my life? I'm not a monk. I have things to do, people to meet, worries to solve. Yes, of course. Life is full, but the stillness I speak of is not far away in the mountains. It is here, in your room, in your heart. You just have to learn to visit it. Start small. Maybe before sleeping at night, you can sit for 2 minutes with your eyes closed. No phone, no music, just silence. Feel the air on your skin. Feel the rhythm of your breath. Let your thoughts rise and fall. Don't hold them. Don't chase them. Let them pass like clouds in the sky. Slowly, that stillness will become your friend. It will no longer feel like an empty space. It will feel like home, a soft, gentle place inside you where nothing can disturb you. Even pain will feel less sharp when you sit with it in stillness. Even confusion will settle like dust in calm water. Now comes the second part, self-companionship. Most people think they are alone because no one is around them. But the truth is, they are lonely because they are not with themselves. Ask yourself, when was the last time I truly sat with myself like a dear friend? Not judging, not complaining, just listening. Listening to your own heart like you would to someone you care about. You see, you live with yourself every day. You wake up with your thoughts. You go to sleep with your feelings. You eat, walk, work, and rest with your inner world. So why not make that relationship kind and warm? Think of yourself like a small child who's scared. Would you scold the child? Or would you hold them gently and say, "It's okay. I'm here." That is self-companionship. It is not selfishness. It is not ego. It is love, the kind that starts inside and flows quietly outward. When you begin to enjoy your own presence, the need to constantly seek others starts to fade. You begin to choose people from love, not from fear. You start to walk slower, speak softer, and live deeper. You begin to realize, I am enough. This doesn't mean you'll never feel lonely again. Even monks sometimes feel lonely. But when you learn to sit with yourself, loneliness becomes just a passing cloud, not a storm. You see it, you smile, and you let it pass. Buddhism teaches that everything is changing. Feelings come and go. People come and go. What stays with you always is you, your breath, your awareness, your stillness. That is your anchor. Many people search the world for peace, joy, and answers. They travel far. They try many things. But the wise ones know the answers were never far. They were just hiding behind the noise. So don't run from being alone. Don't rush to fill the quiet. Let it be. Let it show you who you are. Sit with your fears. Sit with your dreams. Sit with your regrets. And slowly, you will notice everything begins to calm down. Imagine a pond filled with mud. If you stir it constantly, it remains cloudy. But if you let it rest, the mud settles and the water becomes clear. Your mind is like that. Your heart is like that. Let them rest. Stillness teaches you that you are more than your thoughts. Self-companionship teaches you that you are worthy of your own love. Together, they create something beautiful, freedom. The world will always be loud. People will always have opinions. But when you have this deep, quiet friendship with yourself, no noise can shake you. You carry peace, not in your hands, but in your being. Walk gently with yourself. Speak kindly to yourself. Make time for silence, not to avoid the world, but to understand it better. For in stillness, you do not lose the world. You find yourself. This is the power of inner stillness and self-companionship. This is the path of one who learns to be alone and finds peace in their own presence. Ah, so you have walked this far. You are still here, listening quietly, learning slowly. That is good. Not everything in life needs to be rushed. Today, let me tell you about a very quiet fear. A fear so common, most people don't even know it is controlling them. It is the fear of missing out. Yes, what people now call FOMO. Have you felt it? When your friends go out without you and post pictures laughing and smiling, and suddenly, your peaceful evening alone feels like a punishment? When everyone is chasing something, parties, relationships, news, trends, and you're just still, that tight feeling in your chest, that anxiety that whispers, I should be doing something more, that my dear one is FOMO. But what are you really missing out on? Let me tell you a short story. Long ago, a monk sat near a stream. Every day, people passed by, calling him strange, lonely, even foolish for sitting alone with his thoughts. They traveled far, climbed mountains, chased pleasures. Years later, many of those same people returned, tired, disappointed, older. The monk was still there, still smiling. One man asked him, "Didn't you miss out on life by staying here all these years?" The monk smiled and replied, "While you were searching for the world, I found myself." That is what most people don't understand. FOMO isn't about what others are doing. It's about what you believe you should be doing based on what you see. But what you see is not the full truth. People don't post their tears, their doubts, their fears. They show their best 1%, and we compare it to our worst 99%. The Buddha said, craving leads to suffering, and FOMO is just another craving, the craving to have what others seem to have. But the truth is, if you keep chasing after everything, you'll never sit still enough to receive anything real. Let me share something with you that helped me in my early days of solitude. I used to think I was missing out when I wasn't invited, when I was alone during festivals, when I had no one to call at night. But over time, I realized something deeper was happening. I was not missing out. I was being protected. Protected from noise, from distraction, from becoming someone I'm not. You see, being alone teaches you to pause. And in that pause, you realize that you do not need to be everywhere. You do not need to be everything. You only need to be you. That is more than enough. Let's talk honestly. You may sometimes see others laughing in a group and feel like your solitude is a mistake. But look closely. Many people laugh loudly to hide how empty they feel. Being in a crowd doesn't mean you belong. Sometimes the most lonely people are the ones who always need company. Aloneness, when chosen with awareness, is sacred. But aloneness, when forced by comparison, feels painful. The shift begins when you stop asking, what am I missing out on? And start asking, what am I finally free to focus on? Now tell me, what can you do now that you couldn't do when surrounded by distractions? Can you read a book in silence? Can you look at the moon without checking your phone? Can you listen to your own thoughts without judging them? This is the beginning of presence. And presence is more valuable than any event or invitation. In Zen, we often say, when walking, just walk. When eating, just eat. But the world tells you, while walking, record a video. While eating, scroll through news. While resting, check who's having fun without you. This is madness. You're not here to be everywhere. You are here to be here. So what if you miss a party? You have gained peace. So what if you miss a trend? You have found timeless stillness. So what if you are not in everyone's memory? You are deeply present in your own heart. Let's go deeper. FOMO is rooted in fear, but fear is only strong when faith is weak. Do you trust that your path is yours alone? Or do you think that joy only exists on roads others walk? Look around your room right now. Is it quiet? That's not emptiness. That's space. Space to breathe. Space to create. Space to reflect. The problem is not the silence. It's the thought that something louder must be better. What if you believe this instead? That in the silence of your life, something wise is growing. That while the world is busy chasing, you're slowly becoming grounded. That while others are collecting moments, you are discovering meaning. The Buddha didn't fear missing out on pleasures. He feared missing the truth. That is why he left the palace. He walked into the forest, not to escape life, but to meet it fully. So when you feel the pull of FOMO, pause. Ask yourself, what is it I think I need right now? Attention? Approval? Distraction? And then go even deeper. Ask, Can I give that to myself? You may find the answer is yes. You can give yourself peace. You can offer yourself attention. You can enjoy your own company. You are not alone because others left. You are alone because life is inviting you to meet the one person you keep avoiding. Yourself. It's okay to unplug, to turn off the noise, to close your eyes and breathe. The cherry blossom doesn't bloom all year. It blooms in silence, under the sky, without being watched. And yet, when it blooms, it is beautiful. Let that be you. FOMO will visit you, again and again. But each time, you'll be wiser. You will smile and say, "Thank you for coming, but I'm not missing out. I am right where I need to be." And that, my dear one, is true freedom. When you're ready, I'll share the next teaching. But for now, just sit, breathe, and be with yourself. That is enough. Let me tell you a small truth that most people don't understand. You are not boring. You just haven't truly met yourself yet. Most people rush from one thing to the next, chasing conversations, noise, attention, thinking that being with others means being alive. But life begins when you can sit alone and still feel complete. Imagine this. A Zen monk wakes up before sunrise. The world is still dark and quiet. He walks slowly to the garden, sweeps the fallen leaves without music in his ears, and then sits quietly with a cup of tea. He does not feel lonely. He does not need anyone's words to fill the space. Why? Because he enjoys his own company. It's not something special. It's something learned, practiced, and slowly loved. You too can enjoy your own company, just like the monk. You don't need a robe. You don't need a temple. All you need is the courage to stop running from yourself. At first, when you try to be alone, your mind will shout. Thoughts will race. You might feel restless or even sad. But don't run. Just sit, even 5 minutes a day, in silence. No phone, no scrolling, no background noise. Just you, your breath, and the moment. Let it feel strange. Let it be awkward, because slowly the storm settles. One of the simplest practices is mindful tea drinking. Don't gulp. Don't scroll your phone. Just sit and sip. Notice the warmth of the cup, the steam, the smell, the taste, the pause between each sip. You will realize that joy lives in small things. And you can enjoy those small things without needing anyone around. You may ask, why is this important? Because when you learn to enjoy your own presence, you stop depending on others for your happiness. You become your own best friend. You stop begging for attention. You stop fearing silence. And that is freedom. In Zen, we say, when alone, be completely alone. That means no pretending, no hiding, no escaping. Just you, with all your thoughts and emotions, sitting together like old friends. You don't have to judge them. Just watch them. And slowly, you start to understand yourself better. Another beautiful practice is silent walking. Choose a short path, maybe your garden, your balcony, or even a room. Walk slowly, step by step. Feel your feet touching the ground. Don't go anywhere. Don't aim to reach a point. Just walk. Feel each movement. Hear the sounds. Feel the wind. This small act brings you back into yourself. The more you do this, the more you will realize that being alone is not boring. It's not empty. It's rich. It's full of life. But you have to be patient. Just like a seed needs time to become a tree, your ability to enjoy your own company also needs time and care. Stop thinking you need plans every weekend. Stop checking your phone just because you're sitting alone. Instead, start creating small rituals. Maybe reading one page of a good book. Maybe writing one honest sentence in a notebook. Maybe listening to the sound of your breath before sleeping. These tiny moments build a strong, quiet friendship with yourself. People think monks are peaceful because they escape life. That's not true. Monks face life deeply. They just do it in silence, without drama, without needing others to fill their emptiness. And you can too. You don't have to move to a mountain. You just have to sit down and listen to your heart. Ask yourself gently, what do I really like? Not what others like. Not what is trending. What brings you joy? Maybe it's painting. Maybe it's humming an old song. Maybe it's watering your plants. Start doing that. And do it with full attention. No phone. No multitasking. Just presence. This is how you start falling in love with your own company. There will be days when you feel lonely again. That's okay. Even monks feel that sometimes. But now you will know what to do. You won't panic. You'll breathe. You'll sit. You'll make tea. You'll walk. You'll write. And slowly, the loneliness will melt into silence, and that silence will feel peaceful. Remember, being alone is a skill. Like learning to swim. At first, you may feel like you're drowning in your thoughts. But one breath at a time, you'll learn to float. Then swim. Then rest in the calm waters of your own mind. So from today, start treating your alone time as something precious. Don't waste it. Don't run from it. Use it to meet yourself, to know yourself, to enjoy yourself. If you can truly enjoy your own company, no one can ever make you feel incomplete again. In the quiet moments of being alone, many feel a deep restlessness. The mind races, wandering between memories and fears, craving noise and distraction. Yet, this restlessness is a sign, a gentle call from within, an invitation to turn solitude into something sacred, to transform the feeling of being alone from something scary into a powerful spiritual practice is the heart of true wisdom. Imagine a seed buried quietly beneath the earth. It is alone, unseen, in the dark. But from this solitude, with patience and care, the seed grows into a mighty tree. So too, in your moments of aloneness, there lies the potential for deep growth, if only you learn to nurture it. Buddhism teaches us that the mind, when restless and untrained, is like a wild monkey, leaping from branch to branch. But with solitude, you have the chance to gently calm this monkey. Instead of fighting your thoughts or pushing them away, you learn to observe them, watching them come and go like clouds passing through the sky. This watching, this mindful awareness, is the first step in turning solitude into spiritual practice. When you are alone, instead of filling the silence with distractions, try to simply be present. Feel the breath flowing in and out. Notice the sensations of your body. Listen to the sounds around you, not to escape your mind, but to anchor yourself in this very moment. You may find that your mind will wander, as it always does. This is natural. The practice is not to stop thoughts completely, but to return gently to your breath or your present moment each time you notice your mind drifting away. This returning again and again builds strength in your awareness. The Buddha sat alone under the Bodhi tree, facing many distractions, doubts, fears, temptations. Yet he did not flee. He allowed his mind to settle, watching every feeling with kindness and patience. In this silent sitting, he touched the truth of existence. So can you. Solitude becomes a temple when you bring mindfulness into it. It is not just a time to be alone, but a chance to meet yourself deeply, without judgment or fear. When the mind settles, a quiet peace arises naturally. This peace is not dependent on external things. It is born from within. Many worry that being alone means being lonely or isolated. But loneliness is a feeling that comes when you are disconnected from yourself. The spiritual practice of solitude is about connection. Connection to your true nature, to the present moment, to the vastness of life itself. In this practice, you begin to understand that everything you seek outside, happiness, love, peace, already lives inside you. You are not separate from the world. You are a part of its endless flow. Solitude helps you feel this deeply. You may start by sitting quietly for a few minutes each day. Find a comfortable spot where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes if you like, or gently lower your gaze. Notice your breath as it enters and leaves your body. Don't try to change it, just watch. If your mind becomes busy, that is okay. Simply recognize the thoughts, then bring your attention back to the breath. Each time you do this, you build your ability to be present. As days turn into weeks, you may notice something remarkable. Your mind becomes clearer, calmer. You begin to see your thoughts and emotions as passing clouds, not as facts or problems. You learn not to react immediately, but to respond with understanding. This is the heart of spiritual growth. Solitude is no longer a punishment or a burden. It is a gift, a quiet space where you can listen to the whispers of your own soul. You may also bring gentle kindness into your solitude. When difficult feelings arise, fear, sadness, loneliness, welcome them as old friends who have come to teach you something. Don't push them away. Hold them softly in your awareness. With time, their power to disturb you will lessen. In Buddhism, this kindness to self is called compassion. Without compassion, solitude can become a lonely prison. With compassion, it becomes a warm home. You might ask, how long should I practice this? There's no fixed time. Even a few minutes daily can change your life. The important thing is consistency and sincerity. The mind, like a muscle, grows stronger with regular exercise. As your practice deepens, you may begin to notice that solitude follows you even when you are with others. You carry a quiet center inside, a peaceful place you can return to any time, no matter the noise around you. This inner peace is the foundation of true happiness. It is not based on conditions outside, but on your own understanding and presence. Remember, spiritual practice is not about perfection. You will have days when your mind is restless, when loneliness feels heavy. These moments are part of the path. Do not judge yourself. Instead, bring gentle curiosity and patience. Every moment alone is a chance to start again, to come back home to yourself. Many people fill their time with endless distractions, phones, TV, social media, because they fear being with themselves. But real courage is in sitting quietly and meeting yourself with open heart. When you do this, you discover a strength you didn't know you had. You realize that being alone is not emptiness, but fullness. You become your own best friend. You find that the silence is not scary, it is sacred. And in this sacred silence, you touch the deepest part of your being, the part that is always peaceful, always free. This is the true power of transforming solitude into spiritual practice. Sit down gently, my child. Close your eyes. Now open your heart. You are searching for peace and solitude. Yes, but your mind still wanders like a restless wind. You say, I am alone. Yet your thoughts are crowded with yesterday's pain and tomorrow's worries. You're not truly alone until your mind also sits quietly beside you. Let me tell you a secret. Solitude becomes powerful only when you bring mindfulness into it. Otherwise, it's just silence filled with noise. Being alone is easy, but being mindfully alone, that is a deep practice. And once you learn it, even the loneliest mountain will become your temple. Do not rush. Do not force. Just breathe. That's where mindfulness begins. When you walk, don't just walk. Feel your feet touching the earth. Each step is not just a step, it is a meeting. The earth holds you. The wind greets you. The sky watches silently. When you walk in solitude with awareness, the whole universe becomes your companion. One step, one breath, one heartbeat. This is the rhythm of peace. Even the Buddha walked like this. Calm, steady, present. Not rushing towards something. Not running away from anything. Just being. That's true aloneness. Not escape, but deep connection with this moment. Many people ask, Master, what should I do when I am alone? Should I chant? Should I read? Should I meditate? These are good questions. But I say, first, learn to just be. Make tea. Wash the bowl. Sit under the tree. Listen to the bird. Hear the clock ticking. These small things, done with full presence, are more powerful than any great ritual done with a distracted mind. Don't fill your solitude with noise again. You escaped the crowd. Now don't bring the crowd into your head. When you eat, eat slowly. Taste each bite. Feel the warmth. This food has traveled far, through sun, rain, farmers' hands, just to be here for you. If you eat with awareness, you're not alone. You are part of a living chain of existence. Try it once. Sit quietly, take a bowl of rice, and eat without your phone, without music, without rush. Just rice and you. You will realize you are not missing company. You are missing your own presence. Let your daily actions become your meditation. When you sweep your room, sweep your thoughts. When you light a candle, light your inner lamp. When you breathe out, let go of old worries. When you breathe in, welcome a new moment. This is mindfulness in solitude. This is where the real transformation begins. Your mind will protest. It will say, I'm bored. That is not boredom, child. That is the discomfort of meeting yourself without distraction. Sit with it. Be gentle. Do not run. If you stay, it will pass. And behind it, you will find a calmness so deep, it will feel like water flowing inside you. We all want someone to understand us. But when you understand your own breath, your own mind, your own fears, that is the understanding you are really craving all along. In Buddhist tradition, we say, mindfulness is the path to the deathless. Heedlessness is the path to death. When you walk alone mindfully, you are walking on the path of life. You become alive in each breath, in each sound, in each blink of your eye. Even your sadness, if you meet it mindfully, becomes softer, like fog touched by morning light. You don't need to go to a monastery to find this. Your own room can be your cave. Your own breath can be your teacher. Your own footsteps can be your mantra. Do you hear the rain on your window? That is not just rain. That is the present moment knocking on your heart. Say hello. Now, my child, try this today. Take a walk. Not for exercise, not to reach somewhere. Just a walk to be with yourself. No phone, no goal. Just steps. Count them, or don't. Just feel them. You may see a flower you never noticed. A sound you never heard. A thought you needed to hear. This is how solitude becomes sacred. You will realize your loneliness was not a lack of people. It was a lack of connection to the present. If you sit under a tree and your mind is in yesterday, you are not alone. You are in the crowd of memory. If your mind is in tomorrow, you are walking with worry. But if your mind is here, now, then even in an empty room, you are completely full. Zen is not about escaping life. It is about entering life so deeply that nothing is missing, even when you are alone. You don't need to fix your aloneness. You need to feel it fully, without fear. And to feel it, you must be mindful. This is not easy at first, but you must practice. As the Buddha said, no one saves us but ourselves. No one can and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path. So take your first step with awareness. Then another, and another. Let silence be your friend, not your enemy. Let the moment be your home, not your prison. Let your breath be your guide, not your burden. This is how you walk the path of mindfulness in solitude. Not to escape life, but to meet it truly. Sit down quietly, my friend. Let your breath settle. Let your thoughts soften like mist in the morning light. Today, I will speak to you about something that sounds heavy, but is truly freeing: detachment. But not the kind that makes you feel cold or distant. I will show you the kind that opens your heart while keeping your peace. Many people hear the word detachment and immediately think, so, I must stop caring? I should stop loving. That is a misunderstanding. Detachment in the way of Zen does not mean we stop feeling. It means we stop clinging. You can still love deeply, but without fear of losing. You can still enjoy something without being broken if it's gone tomorrow. That, my dear listener, is true freedom. You see, when we are alone, all attachments become loud. We remember old lovers, friendships, painful words, or broken promises. The mind tries to fill silence with stories. We start holding on tighter to what is no longer here. That's where suffering hides. In that tight grip, not in the event, but in our holding. But imagine this. You're holding a cup of tea. It's warm. It smells nice. You enjoy it. But once the tea is finished, you don't cry. You don't hold the empty cup and weep. You wash it, place it back, and move on. That is detachment. Can you do the same with moments, with people, with memories? Buddhism teaches us that all things are impermanent. Nothing stays. Not pain, not joy, not people, not even your breath. When we realize this, we learn to greet each moment like a guest. Welcome it, sit with it, but don't expect it to stay forever. Now, let's talk about how detachment works when you are walking the path of solitude. Many people who learn to be alone start to fear they are becoming emotionally numb. But true aloneness, when combined with mindful detachment, is warm like the sun, not cold like the snow. You are not cutting yourself off from the world. You're simply not depending on it to feel whole. There's a big difference. You stop expecting others to behave a certain way to make you feel better. You stop waiting for a message to feel loved. You stop craving someone's presence just to avoid silence. You begin to sit in that silence and feel okay. Then peace slowly begins to bloom. But don't worry if it feels difficult. In the beginning, your mind will resist. It will tell you stories. You need them. You're nothing without them. You're alone because no one loves you. These are just old voices, echoes of the past. Let them pass like clouds in the sky. Don't fight them. Just observe them. Do you know what the Zen Masters say? They say, let go or be dragged. The more you hold on to what wants to leave, the more it will hurt. But the moment you loosen your grip, suffering softens too. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself and others is to step back and breathe. When you are alone and detached, you see clearly. You don't need others to tell you who you are. You know, you don't need anyone to agree with your feelings. You honor them yourself. This is how confidence is born. Not through applause, but through quiet knowing. But don't confuse detachment with pushing people away. You don't have to become a stone. You can love people, spend time with them, share laughter, tears, meals. But inside, you remain rooted, like a tree that dances in the wind, but stays grounded in the earth. Let me tell you something important. True detachment leads to deeper connection, not less. Because when you're not desperate for someone to complete you, you meet them as an equal. You give without fear. You listen without needing to be heard back. You love without the burden of fear. Isn't that beautiful? Well, the great Zen teaching says, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. What does that mean? It means your life doesn't become something magical or strange after you grow in wisdom. You still live, love, work, but you do it with presence and peace. With detachment, you carry the same buckets, but now they are lighter. Think of the lotus flower. It grows in the mud, yet stays untouched by the dirt. That is you. The world may be full of noise, drama, heartbreak, and change. But inside, you can remain still, rooted, detached, and yet full of compassion. Practice this slowly. Sit by yourself. When thoughts come, smile at them and let them pass. Don't chase them. Don't fight them. Just breathe. When you feel pain, hold it gently. Don't judge it. Pain is a teacher. It is showing you where you're still attached. If someone leaves, bless them. If something ends, thank it. If nothing is happening, enjoy the stillness. Life does not owe you entertainment every minute. Some days are quiet. Some years are slow. That's okay. The moon doesn't shine every night, but it always returns. You will notice that as you detach, you become more grateful. You stop taking things for granted. You stop needing constant company. You start smiling at birds, at rain, at your morning tea. Why? Because now, your joy is not borrowed. It's born from within. This is the deep secret of being alone. You learn to love without attachment. You learn to give without expecting. You learn to live with peace, even when the world is full of storms. This is not escape. It is awakening. So walk slowly. Let go gently. Live fully. And remember, the more you let go, the more space you create for something new to enter. Not just things or people, but peace, wisdom, light. When you learn detachment, solitude becomes your strength. And in that strength, you will not fear being alone. You will look forward to it, because in that silence, you will hear your true self. Now, close your eyes, just for a moment, and listen. You are not alone. You are with yourself, and that is enough. Come, sit quietly for a while. Let us talk. Not about others, not about the world, but about you. About your own heart, about your own path. You have come far in this journey. You have walked through silence, through restlessness, through fear and peace. And now it is time to rebuild. Not your house, not your job, not your name in society, but your life from the inside. You see, most people try to fix life from the outside. They change their city. They change friends. Some even change their appearance. But still, they feel the same sadness when they are alone. Do you know why? Because nothing truly changes unless something inside us changes. When you are alone, you begin to see the cracks in your foundation. You notice the old wounds you never healed, the expectations you still carry, the beliefs that no longer help you. This seeing is painful but it is also powerful. Because what is seen can be cleaned. What is faced can be transformed. Start small. Just like a gardener begins with the soil before planting flowers, you must first prepare the mind. Look at your thoughts every day. What kind of thoughts visit you when you are alone? Are they kind? Are they helpful? Or are they heavy and dark? You don't need to fight them. Just watch. The more you see clearly, the less they control you. In Buddhism, we say the mind is like a room. If the room is messy, you will not enjoy sitting in it. But if you clean it, light a little incense, and open the window, you may find peace there. Rebuilding life means rebuilding this room inside you. Not with force, but with love. Forgive yourself. That is the first wall you must repair. Many people carry shame like a secret stone in their pocket. They keep blaming themselves for past mistakes. But no one walks without falling. Even the Buddha fell again and again before he found the way. So why not give yourself the same kindness? Then rebuild your habits. Do you wake up with purpose? Or do you drag your body out of bed with dread? Small daily actions create the shape of your life. Start your mornings with silence, with breath, or with a single sentence of gratitude. These tiny things, done alone, are the bricks of strong inner life. Next, look at your values. What really matters to you? Not what others expect, but what you feel is true in your bones. Aloneness gives you the space to listen to your own heart. Maybe you realize you no longer enjoy chasing money, or that you want to live more simply. Good. Let that awareness guide your rebuilding. You must also clean your emotional space. Are you still holding on to someone who left? Are you still arguing in your mind with people from the past? Let them go, not because they were right, but because your peace is more important than those battles. Remember, alone doesn't mean empty. It means full with your own presence. So fill your space with meaningful things. Read one wise sentence and reflect on it all day. Take care of your body as if it were a temple. Cook a simple meal with full attention. These are not small acts. These are sacred acts. As you rebuild, you may feel lonely again sometimes. That is normal. But this time, don't run. Just sit. Feel it fully. Say to yourself, this is loneliness, and I am not afraid. When you face it without fear, you take away its power. You become its master. Solitude also helps you see beauty in little things. A bird's song, a cup of warm tea, the way sunlight touches your wall. These things were always there, but you were too busy to notice. Now you see them, and you smile, not because something big happened, but because your eyes have changed. Keep checking your inner space. Is there peace growing there? Is there love for yourself? Is there less noise? These are signs of true rebuilding. You don't need to tell anyone about it. Real change is silent, like the seed under the soil. But one day, the flower blooms, and the world sees the result. There is no fixed path. You don't need to copy anyone. Your way is your way. The Buddha said, be a light unto yourself. So walk slowly but walk truly. Alone but not empty. Quiet but not lost. Even if you feel like you've broken down completely, good. That is where new life begins. A cracked pot lets the light in. A fallen tree makes room for new growth. Your breaking was not the end. It was the beginning of something more honest, more whole. And slowly, without trying to impress anyone, you will begin to live again. A different kind of life. Not one full of noise and running and pretending, but a life full of meaning, simplicity, and truth. This is the life that is born in solitude. This is the life that needs no applause. So, keep going. You're not lost. You're just returning home to yourself. Ah, you have walked a long path, haven't you? You started this journey with confusion, maybe pain, maybe fear. Now, you are here, at the end, which is not really the end, but a quiet beginning. Come, sit, breathe. Let me speak to you, not as a teacher, but as someone who has been alone, truly alone, and found peace there. Do you remember how it felt in the beginning? To sit by yourself and feel the emptiness wrap around you like a fog? Do you remember how your mind used to run, chasing thoughts, dragging old wounds, echoing the past? Yes, I know. That noise inside the silence was the loudest thing of all. But look at you now. You have learned to listen to that silence. You have learned that aloneness is not punishment, but presence. Not weakness, but wisdom. Let me tell you a small story. There was once a monk who lived in a hut on a mountain. People asked him, "Don't you get lonely up there?" He smiled and said, "Lonely? I sit with the trees, the stars, the wind, and most importantly, I sit with myself. I'm never alone when I am with myself fully." That monk understood something many people never do. When you stop running from your own company, a new world opens. A world where you're not desperate for noise, or people, or attention. A world where you don't measure your worth by someone else's love or someone's reply. You begin to love yourself, not in pride, not in ego, but in peaceful acceptance. Solitude becomes sacred. You wake up, make your tea, sit in stillness, and it's enough. You walk under the sky, feeling the breeze on your skin, and it's enough. You no longer seek to fill every moment, because emptiness no longer scares you. Yes, sometimes the past still knocks. Yes, sometimes loneliness tries to creep in. But now you know how to breathe through it. You know that feelings are like clouds. They pass. You no longer panic in their presence. You no longer believe every thought your mind throws at you. Freedom is not always loud. Sometimes it is just sitting in a quiet room and not needing anything. Not needing anyone to complete you. Not needing to be seen to feel real. Not needing to talk to feel connected. Look at how far you've come. You used to beg for attention. Now you give yourself attention. You used to be afraid of silence. Now you rest in it. You used to hate being alone. Now it is your greatest teacher. You see, the Buddha was not surrounded by crowds when he awakened. He was sitting alone under a tree. No phones, no music, no conversation. Just silence, breath, and awareness. You have learned to sit with your breath. You have learned to walk with mindfulness. You have learned to stop chasing people who never cared. You have learned that sometimes the best reply is no reply, and the best company is your own still presence. Now life feels different. You no longer react to everything. You no longer overthink every word. You no longer fear losing people because you have found someone far more precious, yourself. Let me ask you now, what happens when you stop chasing and start sitting? What happens when you stop talking and start listening? Not to others, but to your soul. That's when peace enters like a breeze through an open window. Yes, you will still meet people. Yes, you will still love and connect. But now, you will not lose yourself in them. You will not break apart when they leave. Because now, you are whole. People who fear being alone often live life half asleep. They jump from one person to another, one party to the next, never sitting long enough to meet themselves. But you have sat through the storm, and on the other side, you have found still water. So what is true freedom? It's when the world can shake, but you stay calm. It's when someone walks away, and you don't chase. It's when you can spend a full day with yourself and not feel empty. It's when you walk through life gently, with nothing to prove and no one to impress. You now carry your peace with you, not in your bag, not on your phone, but in your breath. And no one can take that from you. So as this series ends, I offer you no big secret. Only this: sit, breathe, be still, be kind to yourself. If you ever feel lost again, return to your breath. Return to your feet on the ground. Return to the moment, and you'll return to yourself. And finally, remember, you are not alone in learning to be alone. Many others walk this quiet path, and they, like you, are waking up. Before we close, I ask one thing from you. There's so many beautiful souls watching this, but only 0.2% subscribe. If this series has touched your heart, if even one word helped you, then please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Wisdom Woven. It allows us to keep creating, to reach more people, to spread more peace. And it shows us that this work matters. You have done something powerful. You didn't run from your pain. You walked through it, slowly, silently, bravely. Now, take that strength with you. Walk gently, speak softly, and never forget, you are enough. Just as you are. Alone, but never empty. Alone, and finally free. Cool me. Sit down. Let's not rush today. Let the world keep spinning. Let the voices outside keep talking. Here, we're going to be quiet together. Not because we don't have anything to say, but because we have found something more precious. Silence. Yes, silence. The one thing most people avoid. They fill their days with music, messages, meetings. Even when they're alone, they make sure the TV is on or the phone is nearby. Why? Because silence feels like an empty room, and empty rooms can feel scary when the heart is still noisy. But I want to tell you something today. Silence is not your enemy. Silence is not a sign that something is wrong. Silence is the beginning of friendship with yourself. You see, in noise, you hear others. But in silence, you finally hear yourself. Not the version of you that you show others. Not the one that smiles when you're tired or nods when you're confused. But the real you. The soft voice deep inside that says, I'm tired. I'm full. I'm feeling. I'm enough. This voice doesn't shout. It doesn't demand attention. It waits, patiently, and only when you sit quietly, it begins to speak. That is why silence is so important. It holds space for your truth to rise. Let me tell you about a young monk I once knew. He was always restless. He wanted to meditate, but after 5 minutes, he would open his eyes. He said, Master, my thoughts are too loud. My body is too stiff. I can't sit long. I said to him, then don't sit for peace. Sit for discomfort. Sit with the noise. Sit with your resistance. Sit until silence doesn't scare you anymore. And he did, day by day, breath by breath, until one morning, he sat under a tree and didn't move for hours. Not because he forced himself, but because silence had become his friend. He said later, for the first time, I didn't feel alone in the silence. I felt held. That is what silence does when you stop fighting it. It starts to hold you, not like a person, but like a space that welcomes every part of you. When you were a child, maybe someone told you, don't sit quietly, say something. But now I say to you, it's okay. Say nothing. Just be. Let the silence say everything for you. Sometimes, silence is not empty. It is full of answers you didn't know you were ready to receive. It's in the stillness that insights rise like bubbles from the bottom of a lake. Clarity doesn't shout. It whispers, and you must be quiet enough to hear it. Do you know why great teachers speak slowly? Because they have learned to live in silence. They are not afraid of pauses. They don't rush to fill the air. They let the space between words breathe. You can live like that too. You don't have to explain everything. You don't have to reply to everything. You don't have to react to everything. Silence gives you power. Not loud, flashy power, but calm, steady strength. The kind that doesn't shake when things fall apart. The kind that watches the storm and stays centered. Try this sometime. When someone tries to pull you into drama, don't respond right away. Breathe. Wait. Listen. And in the silence, watch your wisdom choose what to say or what not to say. That is maturity. That is peace. And when your own thoughts try to overwhelm you, when your mind shouts, you're not enough, or they don't care, don't argue. Don't panic. Just sit in silence. Let the thoughts pass like clouds. You're the sky. They're just weather. The more you sit with silence, the less afraid you are of yourself. You begin to understand that your thoughts are just visitors. You are not your pain. You are not your past. You are the awareness that sees it all silently. Sometimes, we look for friends and people who don't understand us. We give our time, our love, our energy, but in silence, you meet the one friend who never leaves, your own presence. And that friend is enough. There will come a time when you'll crave silence. Not because you are tired of others, but because you have tasted its peace. You'll turn off the noise. You'll sit in a quiet room, and you'll smile. Not because something happened, but because nothing did, and that was beautiful. And in that moment, you will know you are not alone. Silence is with you. It doesn't judge. It doesn't leave. It just stays like a true friend. So go on. Sit quietly today, even for 5 minutes. Close your eyes. Breathe slowly. Listen, not to the world, but to your own heart. It has something to say. And now, you're ready to hear it.